Hi there, welcome back to the Second Chance Garden. So far I've done a few hot and sweet pepper plants updates. Today I wanted to show you everything I have growing indoor, of course. The first thing first, I will start from bigger plants that I have here. This one is Peruvian White Lightning. Supposedly it's very hot, not as hot as Carolina Reaper or Scorpions, all those super hot ones, but regardless, this will grow white pods that are somewhat small, looking like a habanero in white, and I hear they're very hot. So this is the one that's been giving me a bit of a problem in the beginning, but I think it recovered. I think it's obvious. Leaves are looking good, and it's a lot sturdier. Let me shake this. You might have seen my other videos talking about this Peruvian White Lightning, and this one was really top heavy and wobbly. But now, the stem. Look at the stem. The bottom stem is woody. It's been woody, but a lot bigger. So the entire stem kind of evened out at this point. There were some leaves dropped in the past week or so, but I'm not too concerned about this. The next one is my absolute favorite. This one is Black Pearl. This is an ornamental plant, so you don't eat pods. The pods are going to be red. I think they start out in purple and turn into red eventually. But I got this mainly for the foliage. And you probably know the reason why. If you can see from the top, right now, they look like 3 rosettes. See 1, 2, and 3 right here. The leaves are shiny, dark. Not as dark as I would expect them to be, but I'm assuming it's just because this one is under the artificial lights. So once I put this by the windowsill during spring and summertime, this will get a lot darker. But how shiny the leaves are, I'm pretty pleased with this. And this one, just like any other pepper plants that I have, I've topped the middle, the main stem, a while back, and now 3 branches are coming out from almost the same point, which is perfect, so that they form bushy plant. So I can't wait for this one to branch out even more. So this was Black Pearl. The next one are Jamaican hot chocolates. So I've done a video topping these plants a few weeks ago, and this is what they look like now. And they're doing fine. One of them look better than the other, as you might be able to tell. So this one's looking better. It's even, bushier, and there are 2 leaves that I kept that are pretty big. And new growth coming out like crazy. It still wobbles a little, but the stem is pretty sturdy now. Right there. So I'm not too concerned about this. Of course, if it starts to get too heavy with bigger, larger leaves, I will top it again. So it's not an issue. So the other one, I kept this branch, and I was hoping that another one comes out of this side and just even out, but it hasn't done that yet. But it's in good condition. It just doesn't look great at the moment, but they'll be fine in due time. The last bigger pepper plant that I have is this. Bolivian rainbow. This is another ornamental pepper plant, so you wouldn't eat the pods it will produce, but they will look really beautiful. The rainbow, the name comes from the pods that it produces in different colors at different stages. So I can't wait to see them. Now this one is looking quite different from other regular hot pepper plants. This one looks like a bonsai tree now. It's still tiny, but forming like a tree at this moment. Considering how large the leaves were the first time around, the ones that I chopped, these leaves are a lot smaller. They seem a little bit contained, but that's fine. And I pruned even more after topping this plant. What I did was to sort of cut the middle dense branches that are growing inward. And now I think that it looks much better. Well, this part is still a little bit dense, but I'm okay with this. If you can see it from side, you know, you can see that the air can circulate and light can hit all the leaves evenly, and it's forming like a little tree. So this is Bolivian rainbow. Now moving on to a lot smaller plants that I'm growing. Let me start from another Jamaican hot chocolate. So I'm keeping this in the dome for the time being, just because the plant at this stage, as I might have mentioned before, I always have challenges, and in order for me to just keep the plant going, however slow the progress would be, I wanted to baby it a little bit. So hence the dome is here. I'm just removing it so that I can show you a little bit better. So this is what it looks like. You know, 2 inches or so usually is the tough time for all of my plants. I can zoom in a little bit here to show you how not looking so great. Leaves are not in dark green as they should. They're in almost like a lime green right now, and leaves are kind of like wrinkly. So they're not looking very good. But I hear that the hotter the pepper plants are, they grow really slow and at times very challenging. So am I worried about it? No. I have 2 other hot chocolate plants, a Jamaican hot chocolate that is. So even if this one doesn't make it, it's not too much of a problem for me. But I know for the fact that this will grow out of this stage at one point. Give this, say, like another 2-3 weeks or so, I'm sure this will bounce back big time. So let me put this dome back on, and I will move on to another plant. So here's another tiny plant in the same setup. So I have the dome covering this plant. This is orange habanero. And I got seeds from a grocery store when I bought habanero peppers. It's doing the same, pretty much. You can see the color being sort of pretty light lime green, and leaves are kind of wrinkly. The first 2 sets of leaves, as you can see, they will fall off in a week or so. But that's okay. It's producing very, very slowly new leaves here. So for now, it's fine. Okay. The third tinier pepper plant, again in the same setting, is this one is ahi pineapple. Now I only have this seedling for this type, ahi pineapple, so this has to survive, and I'm crossing my fingers. It's the same deal with other tinier plants, you know, the Jamaican hot chocolate and other smaller seedlings that I showed you. Let me closing a little bit more here. You see the first set of leaves, I think I only have 1 left from the first set of 2 leaves, is lime green again, and the new leaves are so tiny, and one of them is all wrinkled up already. So yeah, this one again is a little iffy stage. But as long as I keep the soil moist and covered under CFL lights for a little bit longer, I believe that it's going to bounce back. Alright, I have more smaller plants. This one is not in the dome, just because it's been doing okay without it. I'm just zooming in to show you a little bit closer look. This is another Peruvian white lining seedling. So as you can see on top, this part, it's been topped recently. I say it was about 4 days ago or so. And the new leaves are already starting to grow. So it's doing quite fine. I chopped off about 2 inches. So it was a lot taller. And it's okay. This is going to be just fine. The next two, well, they don't look so impressive. It's actually pretty sad. These are miniature orange sweet peppers. And I also topped them at the same time as this one that I just showed you. And yeah, I was expecting, since the white lining one is already growing tiny leaves, I expected these to do the same, but the past 4 days, they're looking just like this. Well, the bottom leaves dropped off earlier and had a little bushy top, and it was getting too wobbly, and roots are growing. I don't know if you can see, the roots are growing all over the place. I just couldn't find the time to transplant these. So my solution was, well, just top them, and so that it would buy me some extra time until I transfer them to a bigger cup, just like other plants are in. But so far, they're not doing anything. But I hope that the root system is pretty good. So I'm hoping that in a day or two, they're going to start pushing some new leaves out. Crossing my fingers. All right. The last one, but not least, I have in this tiny plastic bag. This is another Bolivian rainbow. Again, just as I do with other plants, with an exception of ahi pineapple, I wanted to have a backup because I don't really trust myself, mainly. So this is also a backup for Bolivian Bolivian rainbow. I'm getting 2 names confused. All right, so this is how it looks now. This is the miniature version of the Bolivian that I used so earlier, and it's looking okay. This one was also a little bit iffy in the beginning. It just wasn't growing, and the first sets of leaves are kind of rotten away a little, but as you can see, this is doing just fine in this plastic container. So I'm just going to keep this as is for the time being. So these are the only pepper plants that I have so far, and I feel like I have too many already. I have very limited space to grow anything in this space that I'm in, so I may have to cut down on some of the backups. We'll see about that. In the meantime, I had another video about a type of pepper plant that I haven't been able to germinate, and if this paper towel method works and some of them germinate, then they will join this pepper plant family that I have. Okay, so this is it for this time around, and thank you very much for watching.